This woman became a millionaire by mistake, but then she disappeared. What seemed like a typical morning for this woman was far from it, because when she checked her bank account, a staggering $25 million sat in her balance. But she didn't report it to the bank, or go to work that day, or even tell her closest friends. As it turned out, an administrative error had deposited the money into the wrong account. But by the time the bank's systems caught the mistake, they realized the money landed right smack into the hands of the exact wrong person. That's because when they went to reverse the transaction, it was all gone, and so was the woman. In an absolute frenzy, they searched her house, investigated her closest contacts, and scoured her digital footprint. What they found was that she converted the funds to cryptocurrency, then bought a one-way ticket to Amsterdam, one that had already landed several hours beforehand. But just as quickly as the chase had started, any perceivable trail had vanished into thin air. Strangely, traces of the money appeared from time to time with no predictable pattern. Then suddenly, a one-in-a-million misstep gave way to the first breakthrough in years. But whether they'd catch her was still uncertain. As the investigation continued, the woman, now known by many aliases, had settled in a quaint European town far from Amsterdam's bustling streets. She had transformed herself into a successful businesswoman, running a small but thriving boutique as a means of explaining her lavish purchases. Her past life, filled with secrecy and sudden wealth, was hidden behind the facade of a loving mother to a daughter she had out of wedlock. But her daughter knew nothing of her mother's past, believing they had always been a law-abiding, if somewhat private, family. Why would she believe anything else? Meanwhile, her mother was vigilant, always careful not to draw unnecessary attention to themselves, insisting on a life of simple luxury. Nice cars, but not too over the top. Designer clothes, but not too flashy. Along the way, she warned her daughter of the dangers of oversharing and of trusting too much in the digital age. She especially cautioned her against things like DNA tests, which she claimed were invasive and unnecessary. Years went by, and her daughter grew into a curious and vibrant individual, eventually meeting a young man. The duo soon began dating. Then came the daughter's birthday, a day that was supposed to be filled with celebration and joy. The boyfriend, thinking he had found the perfect gift, presented the daughter with a completed DNA test. She fell silent. He said that since she was always so curious about her ethnicity, and since her mother was so mysterious, he sneakily took the sample and went ahead with the test. She pretended to be excited, but when she reluctantly told her mother, her face drained of color. This seemingly innocent gesture threatened to expose her, especially given the increased use of DNA in cold cases. Pandora's box was open, and the clock was ticking. Sure enough, the DNA company had flagged an unusual match, a connection to an ongoing investigation. The details were forwarded to authorities who had been chasing shadows for years, and they moved swiftly. The connection was undeniable. The DNA collected from the woman's home years ago, a misstep she thought had been insignificant, matched her daughter's nearly perfectly. The authorities had been searching for the mysterious millionaire who vanished without a trace, and now they had a direct link to her through her daughter. This revelation shattered the peaceful life they had built. Early one morning, just as the sun began to rise, the woman rushed into her daughter's bedroom, their suitcases packed. But the authorities had already arrived at their doorstep. The woman was taken into custody, and her true identity was revealed. But to the surprise of everyone, she looked completely different thanks to a full facial reconstruction surgery paid for under the table. But there was only a small fraction of the $25 million remaining. It turned out she had been privately donating nearly $1 million every year to charities. But since the case was so public, broadcasted on global news outlets, the bank certainly wasn't going to claw back any money from charity. The woman would go on to spend many years in prison, but not the rest of her life. When she got out, her time having been served, she said this: "The price you pay to live life without your guard up is well worth it."